Hey. How you feel?
Go.
Okay. Done? We are down. Bava Kamma is going to quote a Gemora Bava Kamma now.
Wow.
That's great. That we didn't get to yet. Okay.
I shall return.
Wow, actually we're very close to getting to it. Because we're in Mem Tes, and this is on Daf Nun. Oops. Lost my map. Sir? Hey, how's everybody? How was everybody's Shabbos? Okay, down. Did it again. Oh! Baruch Hashem.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Thank God. How are you?
Good.
Oh no. Got that long Rashi. The fact that it's long doesn't scare me. Okay, we'll try it. Just clean it up.
Thank you very much. Forgot my Gemora today.
Don't have a warrant. That. We have the grandfather. Yeah. Where are we on, Mem? Where are we up to, Mem Tes?
Head on the base. Right. Amen.
Okay, so we were Miss Rashi, the Hazi Yeroka.
Where does it start?
Hazi Yeroka is about
Middle of the Yom, exactly.
What?
Right in the middle.
Middle of the
perhaps
page?
in the middle, maybe a little bit
This is a long one, so we'll go from there down.
upper,
Wide.
I got it.
upper half. Now, before we do that, let's try to figure out what we're talking about over here.
Yeah, good idea.
Let's where we are here?
Nafshi is written right here. But I'm not sure we are in the Gemora.
We had a case of an animal, the shore, that killed the people in the bor. And the Mishnah provided, what was the din in the Mishnah? Payment of kofar?
Right.
Payment of kofar. Payment of kofar from the Mishnah. Whatever the Mishnah was, and then Zion on the base, I think.
If we specify the town, we doesn't.
Right. Ha'aviv of Benoi l'tocho. If the father or the son of the property owner was in the bor, the animal fell in, Mishalem is the kofar. He'll pay the kofar.
Right.
More made an issue of step one, the Gemora asks, here this is in the Gemora on the first words of the line, about 25 lines down, 22 lines down. The first word of the line is Esa Kofer. In other words, the Gemora is quoting, that's the caption, between the two dots on either side is the statement of the Gemora. So who wants to read? Well, let's just read it and see where we're going. See where we got to.
Va'amai, and why? Ha, this Tom, who? This shore is a Tom. So why we know we don't take kofar when we have a Tom. Amar Rav.
So the Gemara thought we're talking about a time.
Right. So Rav says, Amuad lipol al b'nei Adam beboros askinan. We're dealing with a muad for the specific case of falling on somebody in a pit. Amar hachi?
If so.
Ihachi. If so, bor bar kitalahu. If so, then the ox should have been executed. Amar Rav Yosef.
If he would have been a what do you call it?
A mood. If a mood kills somebody, he's subject to skila, so how could he be around to kill anybody anymore?
Well, if he's a muad, he's going to be killed.
What?
No.
Well, once he kills a person, he's going to be skila. And he's skila. How could he then kill again?
If he's muad, that means he's already done this 3 times in order to pay kofar. Right. And the Gemara's asking, even though he wasn't a muad until the first 3 times, until after 3 times,
As soon as he kills intentionally.
Even if he's a Tom and he kills, even alright intentionally, have to do it intentionally,
Right.
he should be executed.
He should have been executed.
So why is he still around?
Amar Rav Yosef, says Rav Yosef, Dechaza Yeruka. Dechaza Yeruka, that's our statement.
He saw
He saw
some type of a
vegetables.
Aggressive vegetation. He
He saw vegetation. The Nafal,
He just fell.
the Nafal, and he fell.
Right.
He was reaching over to eat some grass on the side of the pit, and he fell. Shmuel Amar, Shmuel says, this Mani, Reb Yosef, HaGalili. What's Mani?
Now, who is it?
What?
Which opinion is it? Who, Mani? Mani, who is it?
Who holds
Mani.
this?
Who holds like
Whose
this?
opinion? Reb Yossi HaGalili. He, it is. The Amar, that he said, Tam Mishalem, a Tam pays Chetzi Kofir, half Kofir, Ola,
Ula. It's a name.
what?
It's a name. Ula. Ula.
Oh, so Reb Yossi, so Reb Yossi HaGalili says that a Tam pays Chetzi Kofir. Ula Amar, Ula says, Reb Yossi HaGalili, he, it is. The Amar, Reb Tarfon, that he says like Reb Tarfon. The Amar Kra, that it says in the pasuk.
No, Karen.
What?
Karen, that's not correct.
The Amar Karen, that he says that the damage called Karen, the Chatzer in the courtyard, Ha Nizak, the damaged one, Nizak Shalem, pays the damage.
Nezek
The
Shalem
Shalem.
Mishalem.
What is it? Why is there?
Nezek Shalem Mishalem. Net full damages he paid.
Oh, he says the damaged one, full damage he pays. Hekanami, here also, Kofir, Shalem Mishalem. The Kofir payment he pays.
Kofir Sholem B'Sholem.
The complete Kofir
He pays a full payment, not just like we have such a thing as Nezek Sholem and Chatzi Nezek. If the
Right.
actual damages were let's say 1,000, so Nezek Sholem would be you pay 1,000. Chatzi Nezek would be you pay 500.
Right.
So however we're going to compute what the Kofir payment is going to be, there's such a thing as paying. We mentioned over here two things. We mentioned that someone holds that you pay for a tam chatzi kofir. In other words, you pay half of the kofir payment, according to what it was estimated that the kofir should be. And over here, according to this opinion, we're saying no, kofir sholem, a full kofir payment is going to be paid.
Ishlema, very good. Le'ola,
Ula.
le'ula, according to Ula, hayinu it is. The katani, that we learned, haya, aviv,
Aviv.
aviv,
His father.
aviv, what?
His father.
His
Aviv.
father. It was
The Mishnah said that if his father or his son
His son.
was in the
no.
bore, so then he's going to pay, the animal's going to pay kofir.
the tocho that was within it.
Inside the bore, yeah.
Ella, Shmuel, according to Shmuel, my area, what did he see? Aviv o beno, father or son, afilu echad, even one nami also, or
That's the end is the answer. The question is, Shmuel,
well,
according
let
to
me
Shmuel,
read the rest
Let
of
him
this
read it, okay?
line.
Let him read it.
Orchia de milsa kitani. What is orchia?
Orche de milsa katan.
Orche de milsa kitani. Something this thing.
Katan
just
is
the way,
learning.
the way of words, it's like a common case we're talking about. The usual case. Orcha de Milsa means the usual case of big talk.
Right, now you can explain it.
No, it's only the key question is, Ula Shmuel was the one who said you pay Chetzi Nezek. So why, if Shmuel was paying Chetzi Nezek, and there was a whole concept about it being in the place of the Nizak, the question is, why did it have to teach father or son? It should be the same rule if anybody fell into the Bua. You know, it shouldn't, why does it have to say specifically father or son? What's the big deal? Anybody falls into the rule, it should be the same rule.
But that has something to do with whether it's Chetzi or Shalem.
No. The Chetzi Shalem is a machlokas between
That's a
Shmuel and
separate
Ula.
issue,
That's
right.
a separate issue between Shmuel and Ula.
Right.
But Shmuel, the question is, why would he say father or son? You know,
Why is it understandable according to Ula that the Mishnah says Dafka Aviv of Beno?
Dafka of the Beno. Why specifically
Why?
that?
Why do you say according to Ula? I thought it was L'Shmuel.
No, this is what the Gemora says. First of all,
The
let's
Shmuel-
get straight what it is that the two shittas are.
Yeah.
Let's get straight the two shittas. We're going a little bit too fast over here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Wow. What did we do? We did 10 lines over here?
A lot.
Yeah, well,
And I
they're different rules.
translated it, but I didn't understand what it was saying. Because I was going too fast, like you said.
There were different dins that we had. The first thing was why is it falling into, is it different than we saw the vegetation? The Chazi Yerok, like the Benofal, that's how we got out of not, the case being possible is the Chazi Yerok. That's what we're talking about. Otherwise he would have killed, which that's the reason why he wasn't killed. And that's this long Rashi why he wasn't killed. And
So
then
how does that explain why he wasn't killed yet?
that's the Chazirah, why he wasn't killed. Right, that's the Rashi, why he wasn't killed. Because he saw the vegetation. You've got to do this Rashi to see why he wasn't killed. Which is separate from what the penalty is. The penalty Chetzi Kofa, whose opinion is it? Is it Chetzi Kofa or full Kofa?
Yeah, okay, so let's try to tackle this.
I don't see how we ever answered the question, why wasn't he killed already?
That's the Chazirah.
Yeah, the Gemora just said that he saw this vegetation at the end of the board,
Right.
and he fell in, meaning that he didn't
Wasn't but Kavana.
intentionally jump into the board in order to kill the people.
So
in the board.
that's why he wasn't killed, because he jumped, he did it, it wasn't an intentional thing.
The question would be though, if
The
he didn't
statement
do it
was that he's
intentionally.
a muad.
Right, so the question is there such a thing as being a muad for seeing the grass 3 times? And if you see the grass 3 times, should that person still be considered a muad? Have we raised the person to a muad category of seeing green and causing this?
It doesn't really make any sense to say that an animal could achieve a muadut by doing something it didn't intend to do.
Right.
Muadut means that, what does it mean that an animal is muad to gore? That's his nature. His nature is that he gores. He's a goring animal. He's a wild animal. He gores. Well, if he didn't intend to gore, it just was like a freak accident, and somehow his horn hit some guy or something like that, and it happened a few times. Would we say that the animal is now muad to be a goring animal? That's his nature. His nature is to gore people. So, Svor would say it's not really, he's not really muad. It's not his nature. It's just a freak accident that happened a number of times. But let's see what here we're trying to explain. On the one hand, that the animal is a muad over here, because without him being a muad, there's not going to be a payment of kofir.
Right.
Only a muad pays kofir. In order to be a muad, he has to have already done this action 3 times. And then, if he did it intentionally, and we're talking about killing somebody, if he did it intentionally, so he should have been executed the first time. That was the Gemara's question. He's a bar katala. What do you mean that he's a muad over here? How come he wasn't killed the first time that he did this intentionally? Right? How could he get to the 3rd time?
Right.
So now the Gemora says because he saw vegetation on the edge of the board and he fell in. So it sounds like what the Gemora is saying is that he didn't really intend to kill anybody with his actions. What he was intending to do was to eat some yerek on the edge of the board. Now, how many times are we going to say that he did that? He did that like that 3 times, or do we mean? So now we're going to try to figure out what exactly is this that he what does the Gemara mean over here that he saw the vegetation and he didn't mean to kill anybody, but just fell into the bore and unintentionally killed people. Did that happen 3 previous times? Did it happen the 4th time too? What's going on over here? Rashi's got a long Rashi. This seems to be that there's a lot to explain over here.
Asav al pi habor. Grass on the mouth of the boar. Uba v'ochel v'nafa. And he came to eat, and he fell.
Okay.
Teheach nefila lo ichavein. That this falling was not with intention. Umihu.
Now, which is this? What is the nefila that we're talking about over here? The 4th nefila, or the which?
I would say it's the all of them.
Well,
each time he falls.
nefila is lashon. What is this lashon yachid or lashon rabbi?
It's a singular.
Singular. So it sounds like he's talking about one nefila. If he would be talking about all of them, I would have thought that Rashi would have said nefilot.
So, well, the question here is, why wasn't he killed the first time he fell?
Right.
So I would say, if we're going to say it refers to one of them, it'd have to be the first time.
When he fell into the pit, what was his status before that?
It was a time.
But the first time?
The time he fell into the pit, it was a time.
I mean, the Mishnah is talking about. Isn't the Mishnah talking about the 4th time?
Yes.
The Mishnah is talking about the 4th time, L'chora.
Right.
And the son and the father of the Balabais is inside the pit, and he's going to pay kofar for it.
Right.
Haya aviv o benoi l'socho v'shalom es kofar. With that time, he's going to pay kofar on that. So
Right.
that's talking about the 4th time.
Right.
So the Gemora's question was, what about the other times? Why is he still
first
around?
First, the Gemora said, he's a Tom. Why does he pay? He's a Tom.
Right.
And it said,
He's muad.
it said he's a muad because he fell 3 times.
Right.
And then it said, if so, how's he alive? And then it said, grass on the pit. So now we're reading the grass on the pit explanation, and it says,
So which is grass in the pit is referring to why it is that's the answer to the question of why he's still alive.
right.
So why is he still alive was the question. The first time he did it, he should have been killed. The second time that he did it, he should have been executed. The third time he should have been executed. What happened over here? It's a bar katala. And that the Gemara says, no, he saw grass and he fell into the pit. On which time? L'chora, the pashtus of the Gemara is talking about which times?
The first 3 times.
How did he not get killed? How did he not get executed so far?
Right.
Right?
So we're talking about the first 3 times.
L'chora, that's what I would say. I would say he's talking about the first 3 times. What do you say,
Right.
Phil?
Yeah, first 3 times.
First 3 times.
He was killed.
So now you want to know, why isn't it plural?
Why is it not plural? He's not only got to get out of the death penalty the first time he kills him, he's got to get out of the death penalty the second or third time too.
Right. So that's a weakness in our argument.
Unless Rashi's just saying the nefila the mice and the philo that happened on these 3 times was Shelo B'Kavanah. So we couldn't kill him.
You could say Rashi's saying the first time, this is why he wasn't killed.
Yeah.
And the same reason applies to the other 2 times.
Okay. We'll have to we'll keep it we'll keep it in mind, because in other words, I'm just pointing out that
a weakness.
it's not enough to say that he did this the first time. We need
Right.
to get around the second time why he's still alive, and the third time why he's still alive. Okay, that's just one pointing out. And the lashon of nefila is lashon yachid l'chor. Okay.
Umihu kofer. And from where is the
Nevertheless.
kofer? What?
It's like almost like a nevertheless.
Nevertheless, kofer shalem. Shalo the kavana. Kofer, if without kavana, mishalem. He has to pay.
Yeah.
In nefila, with falling, acharona.
Yeah.
That's the fourth time.
With the other falling.
The last four.
Right. So nevertheless, he has to pay kofir from the fourth falling.
Even though, what's Rashi pointing out? With his nevertheless. With his
That
Even though
he's still doing it without kavana.
because he did it without kavana. You would have thought to say that if he did it without kavana, he wouldn't pay kofir. Now,
Right.
I would have thought.
Right. Nevertheless,
She's
even
saying-
if there's no kavana, he pays kofir the fourth time.
Shelo b'kavana mishalem. Shelo b'kavana mishalem b'lefila achrona. So here Rashi says explicitly which nefila he's talking about. The
Right.
nefila achrona was shelo b'kavana, and
Right.
nevertheless he's going to pay kofir.
V'afal pi she'ein.
Now we still didn't
Sure.
explain why he could be a muad with shelo b'kavana.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And even though the ox is not the skila, is not executed, the shema'inan,
What? Even on the 4th time, he's not going to be executed. He's now killed 4 times, and this time he's not going to be executed either.
I don't
Because
know.
he did it shelo b'kavanah. But the owner is going to pay kofir.
Right. Ushma'inan, and we hear,
Yeah.
and we hear the Rav, according to Rav,
According to Rabbi, yeah.
the Amar, that he said, Patur mizeh, umizeh,
He's putter from this and he's putter from
from
that.
this. Animili,
This was on Mem Dalet. For those of you who remember what we learned on Mem Dalet.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
did this.
remember that.
We did this.
Dalet Amud Aleph. Rav said, putter mizeh umizeh.
Rav Amar, Patur mizeh, umizeh. So that was Amar,
What?
Shmuel.
He's going on the Mishnah. The
right?
Mishnah says, Shor Shahaya Mischachik B'Kosel. He scratches his back on the Kosel, Nafal ala Adam, and it causes the Kosel to fall on a person. That's the first din.
Right.
Next din is Kavan Laharogas Abehema. Is Kavan if he has intention to kill a behema, in other words, this shore, we're still talking, he's the subject of this Mishnah.
Right.
So the second case is he had kavana to kill a behema, v'haragas adam, but he ended up killing an adam. Or alternatively, he had kavana. Not he didn't have kavana to kill a behema. He had kavana to kill an evet kanani, or I guess we're talking about evet kanani. That's the note over here saying. Note just says a Nafshi, stam goy. V'harag ben Yisrael, but he ended up killing a ben Yisrael. All these cases, Nefelim, v'haragas bar kaima, pater.
So he killed somebody who wasn't, or something, or somebody who wasn't the object that he was trying to kill.
Right. He had kavana for one who he would not. Right. The din would be. Yeah. I don't remember exactly what the din are, but in other words So Shmuel said over here, Potter mi misa, v'chayev b'kofer. Shmuel said he's potter on the din misa, the animal. It's not going to be executed, but he's chayev. The owner's going to be chayev in kofer.
Rambam said he's potter in both.
Rashi explained over here, Potter mi misa, according to Shmuel, the halo echaved. He did not have kavana for the one that he would be executed on his account. Meaning the Kamma, Kamisas Abailim, Im Harag came, Misas Ashor, Im Harag came, Misas Ashor, Shahara. So the din of the shore who's horeg is going to be the same as the din of a Adam who's horeg. Adam who's horeg, only if he's horeg bar Yisrael, he will be executed. So too, we have a limud that we say also will be the din by behema. He will be executed only if he was horeg with kavanah bar Yisrael. So he's going to be potter over here on the din misa, this shore, according to Shmuel. But there will be a chi of kofer. Because Shmuel holds, says Rashi, the darshin in kofer in kofer. Remember we had the yitur lashon of in kofer yushas olav. You don't need that im over there. So Shmuel learned to tell me that yitur lashon is telling me that even if the animal is horeg shelo b'kavanah, there'll be a payment of kofer according to Shmuel. And Rav comes along and says, no, patur mizeh o mizeh. Not only will be patur on the misa, just like Shmuel said, but he doesn't hold from that drasha of im kofer, and he says he'll patur on the kofer as well. Since it was, Rav holds that in other words, that there's no din kofer if the animal was horeg shelo b'kavanah. Right? Is that the point? Or no, that's not the point, actually. That's not the point. Actually, not the point. Well, what does Rashi say? Can the Darish Rava, like Rava's darshan, Ashor Yisakil, v'gam bal of Yumas. Kol zman she'ashor b'skila, it's a hekesh. Wherever the shore has a din skila on him, bailim mishalmim kofer. That's when the bailim will pay kofer.
Right.
So, in this case, there's not going to be a din skila on the animal.
Right.
So therefore, there won't be any payment of kofer either. That's the way Rav learns. Shmuel says, no, it could be a split. Because of this yitur lashon of im kofer. There could be a payment of kofer, even shelo b'kavanah. Where there's no, like you said, if the animal is horeg shelo b'kavanah, there's no skila on the animal. We both agree that there's no skila on the animal, shelo b'kavanah. The question is, could there be a payment of kofer? Shmuel says no. Shmuel says there could be. There could be a payment of kofer. Rav says no. No payment of kofer if the animal's not b'skila. They go together. No skila, no kofer. So that's what Rav means over here when he says pater. Rav Omar pater mizeh umizeh. He's pater on the din misa, and the owner is pater on the din kofer. Okay. Now, what did Rashi want us to tell us about that? Shma'in and the Rav, the Omar pater mizeh umizeh.
So he's actually telling you it's only right now. He's telling you that this whole bit about the being kofer. As you say, he's only Shmuel, not Rav. He's telling you that it's not Rav. Shmuel's his opinion.
Let's see what Rashi says. Hani mili.
These words, Gemora,
Apply.
these words apply to Emunah.
Bemuad l'negichos b'kavana.
that cord with the tension. But that's not our case.
Orek la'agma.
The arach, the agma, and the grass.
No, it kind of like ran away.
What?
Like what's a
Oh, 1 second, you know
Arak
that?
Agma, the Rosh Hashanah is like after the ox killed, it ran away to the lake and you couldn't catch it. That's the expression.
This
like,
is the swamp, right?
yeah, the swamp. He ran to the swamp, so therefore you couldn't catch him, so that's why he wasn't killed.
I think
Which is how-
this that Rab says, that's not kashur to this what it says Hani Mili over here, Rashi. I'm not sure exactly why Rashi brought this statement of Rab. Because here we're saying that there's a chi of kofar to pay, even though it's shelo b'kavana. Okay, we'll see. We'll see this. Hanimili, these words apply. Mud l'negichos, b'kavana, b'arek la'agba, b'rishonos.
The first times?
The first times.
That's plural, right?
Right. The first. It means the first 3 times. That's why I'll explain why he was not executed.
V'nikach daled, and the 4th time that he endured, shelo b'kavana, was without kavana.
First 3 times he did it. Hanimili b'muad l'negichos, b'kavana b'arek la'agma, b'rishonos. Nogach daled, shaloi b'kavana. So in that case, potele, exerce a kosev.
He's exempt from a comparison of psukim.
He's potter on. He'll be potter on the. He'll be potter on the kofar. He'll be potter on the kofar,
I'm sorry, from the statement of a pasuk.
based upon exerce a kosev. Exerce a kosev means this is what the pasuk says. It's not our svara. It's what the Torah says. So the Torah says over here that there's a unity between these 2 dinim, because they're right next to one another over here. It's like a smichus in the pasuk. Ashoyis. The first one says Ashoyis Akel, like we saw before. The
Sure,
animal
it's
will
killed.
be niskal, the gambalav yumas, and also the owner yumas, meaning that he'll have to pay kofar. What's the drasha on that pasuk?
Kol zaman she'ein hashor b'skila, any time that the ox is not executed, ein balim mishalmin, the owner does not have to pay kofar.
It won't pay kofar.
Aval, but this shelo haisa bo chiyuv skila, that there is not here an obligation for execution, klal at all. Ein ha a daso, there are not witnesses.
Dasoin el kofar. So already.
Except for the kofar of these 2 kinds of damages, eating and walking. I lost the logic there.
It's a different thing. It's not, he's talking about the kofar caused by falling in the bore, caused by the killing by Negicha. This is not, it's a different situation. They're calling it, this can be such a thing, kofar in the chutzner of the nizak, going into the damaged person's doing it. It's saying that it's a different category. There can be kofar in that case. Not Negicha, but there can be something, Shane and Regal, can be a problem in the chutzner and nizak. Because you went into the chutzner and nizak's
The
property.
Chatzir HaNizah, in the courtyard of the damaged one,
Yeah, the one of the, you went into his property, so to speak.
to ukiminan, the rego, What's the utmina?
Established to us.
What?
It's established to us. It's been
Established
learned.
to
It's
us.
been learned.
With regel, darsha, that we derive.
No, that's the rush. That's trampling upon with his foot. That he crushed somebody with his foot. The rush.
He trampled. Al-Gam,
Yeah,
on the back T-note of a baby.
Yeah, well, baby.
The chetzer in the courtyard, Anizak, of the damaged one. To eat the kosher, that there is kosher, the regel, from trampling. And even though the shalom, that it's not the kavana.
Yeah, because that's just the way he goes.
He didn't intend to trample the baby. The ain ashur beskila, and the shore is not executed.
Didn't do it intentionally.
What?
Because he didn't do it intentionally. That's why the shore's not skilled.
Right. The economy here also the chaza Yeruka. He returned and what's Yeruka?
Same thing. It's the grass. He saw the grass. The chaza
Yeruka.
He saw the
grass.
The vegetation.
And fell. Tolda. B'shein. It's dependent upon eating, because it was eating that he was trying to do. That he fell while he was trying to eat. It is the miskavein, that is intention, lahinaso, what's that?
It's like his pleasure, his benefit.
Well, it was pleasure, hana'ah.
Right, he intended, it was shame, he was going to eat it, it's just shame, it's not a regal. Regal was trampling on the baby, and this eating the food is a shame.
Right, got it.
And there was intention to eat, there was intention in shame.
And if you will say, Mishuna, who? Mishena?
Mishuna is like a crazy ox. It's not a common way. It's like a mishugah. It's like different here because it's not the normal thing that he does. It was a non-normal thing that he did.
4 times he fell onto a person.
That's not normal?
It's not normal.
I guess it's not normal. I don't know.
The Ein Zu Shane, and therefore this is not Shane. Kavan, since the ayad lay. What's the ayad?
That's like a testifier.
Testify?
It was testified that people seen it.
Since that this is testified to Orcha, who? What's Orcha?
That's its way. It's the opposite of Mishuna. Mishuna means the reason you have to understand something. Rashi's asking a question over here. Im Tomar is a question. He'll ask a question. Rashi said so far that what this animal has done doesn't fall into the category of what do you call it? Of Karen. He's doing damage with his horn intentionally to kill. It's called shame somehow. That's what Rashi's saying. He did it for his hana, because he saw this. He saw the food and he wants to eat the food. So it's a type of it's an action that was done with it's called shame. And he does something. Now the whole idea of shame is as he's doing something which is normal for him to do. Normal is called orcha. That's the normal way that the animal operates is called orcha. Right. So in order to qualify to be this type of damage for shame, it's got to be orcha. If it's not orcha, if it's not considered to be orcha, it cannot be shame.
Right.
Karen is mishuna. The animal is by definition not considered to be a dangerous animal, and so whenever it does damage of shame, whenever it does damage of Karen, it's considered to be Mishuna until it does it 3 times, and then it's got a muadut to do a goring like that. But here, the issue that Rashi has is that we're going to have a problem of calling this act that he did all these times shame, because be'etzem it's Mishuna. It's not. This is not the normal damage that shame causes.
Right.
This is a freak accident type of thing. So if so, it's going to be called Mishuna. You're not going to be able to categorize it as shame. That's why she's kasha. You're talking about Mishunahu, the Ein Zu Shem, and therefore it's not shame. And therefore all of his argument is going to go up in smoke over here. No, says Rashi, we'll be able to say that it's shame. Why? Kevin the ayed le orchahu.
Since that it was witnessed, it's normal.
I don't know if this word means.
It's been observed. It's been testified that it happened. It's been noted that it happened. And it happened 3 times already. This is the 4th time it's happening. This thing.
That's the point.
Since it's been seen happening 3 times already, it
accident
becomes the normal
already
way.
3 times.
It's like the
So
normal.
you can't say it's Mishuna anymore. That's Rashi's answer for it's not going to be. You won't be able to say there's Mishuna. That's the 3 times is not a this 3 times is not a freak accident. It's called.
This is an im tomar.
Right. If you
reverse this.
if you would say Mishuna, if you would think it's not abnormal, it's not abnormal because it happened 3 times already. It's
No,
not,
if you would say that it is normal.
Mishuna.
No.
Mishuna. Right.
Mishuna
If
means it is not normal.
if you would say it's not
Mishuna is
normal,
not normal.
then it's been testified that it is normal because it happened 3 times each time. It's been witnessed that it happened 3 times already.
Like you say on Shabbos, to do something with a shinoi, right? To do
Right.
something with in an abnormal way. It's not the derech, it's not the orach, the derech. To do it in that way, so then that knocks it down the malacha to a derbanan. It's the same word, shinoi and mishuna. It's a abnormal way of doing it. So Rashi is saying this is an abnormal way of causing damage with the av of shame. Shame is one of the avos nezikim. But if it's going to be mishuna, so that can't be shame. Shame by definition is that it's orcha. It's the derek. It's the way that the animal operates that it does damage with its teeth when it wants to eat something.
In other words, if you will say that it's abnormal and it's
Right.
not shame,
Right.
since it's
That's the
observed-
kasha. Answers Rashi.
right, since it's been observed,
Kandia ayadle.
normal, it's normal.
It's already been established that he's done it 3 times. We can't. We don't need to say it's mishuna anymore.
And it's established to it that it's that the falling, the last falling, is with kavana.
Woo! Wow! Woo! If he's already done this freak thing 3 times, if he does it a 4th time, we can already say that it's called b'kavanah, says Rashi. That's what Rashi's saying.
V'hashur skila, and the ox is subject to being
No, keep going.
executed.
You need 2 more words after that. Keep going.
Lo metzina, you do not find.
Right. We don't find that it's in skila. Even though it's normal for him to do the whatchamacallit, we still don't have the but the short of skila low, we don't find it gets skila.
De legabe kavana, that when we have kavana, tam, for a tam, who it is. So it's considered to be a tam, even though we say it's muad. That's weird.
Even though it's normal for it to do it, it's still considered a time.
But like kofir, and there's not kofir daha, that this kol kamma, all the time, the lo chazi, Yeruka, that it doesn't see vegetables, lo ayid. There's no testimony. There's no testimony that it does it when it doesn't see vegetables. I'm not sure I followed that.
I'm trying to catch the fourth time. So basically, it's any one time that happens, you could definitely say it's a tam, and there's no kofa. You could say that there's no kofa any time it sees the vegetables without there being testimony on him seeing the vegetation and doing it 3 times. Only the fourth time do we get to a kofa situation.
But it says lo chazi yeruka, lo ayid. We don't see that there's a testimony that he ever did this without vegetation.
If you didn't see vegetation, low testimony.
There's no testimony.
All times that he didn't see the vegetation, no, you're not going to testify. Nobody's going to testify you don't see the vegetation. It's only going to testify the times you do see the vegetation.
But nobody's testifying that he's fallen into a pit and killed somebody, except when there was vegetation. Why is Rashi telling us that?
But there's no kofa. The times that there's no vegetation, there is no kofa. The fact it's saying you need the vegetation. You can't just say it fell in by itself. You need the testimony. You can't just say the guy was walking along, right? You can't just say the guy was walking along and it fell in, and it fell in, and it fell in, and it fell in the fourth time. You're not going to pay kofa on those cases. The only time you are going to pay kofa is when it's testified that he saw the vegetation that fell in 3 times. Then the fourth time kofa will be there. But there's no kofa without seeing the vegetation. It's like necessary.
Why would that be?
Because
the kofa, the
because it's not
vegetation is a leniency.
Right. No, but it's making it shame. It wouldn't even be shame if he just fell in stam. This way, it's definitely something.
But if he fell in stam, then we would say it's worse.
But it's not. But there'd be no kofa on that, because then it's just then it's not an orcha. Then it just happened. You can't without a reason for happening. You haven't got a reason.
Say it's with kavanah.
It's not kavanah. It just
He
fell in
sees somebody in the pit and he purposely falls.
He jumps in.
Yeah.
It's not even doing. But that's also the question about the low kavanah and kavanah. But then is it kavanah that he wanted to kill the person by jumping in? You saw him jump in. It's a question of falling. We're talking about nafal. We're not talking about jumping. It's not kavanah. It's nafal. He just fell in. So there's a question.
Right.
If he was just minding his own business and fell in, it's almost saying there's no kofa. He was minding his business.
But after he does it 3 times.
But no, when he saw vegetation, people said he was eating at the Noah and then he fell in. If that happened 3 times, then the 4th time he'd have to pay kofa. But if he just fell in stam, he wouldn't have to pay kofa.
Why?
Because there's no testimony on it. Nobody's coming to testify on the floor.
They testified. We saw him fall in the.
But that. I mean, it seems to me that's the only reason why he has to say the chazi yerok. Why does he have to say the chazi that he saw the vegetation?
Because that's a leniency. That's saying if the reason he fell in was because he was eating, then we say maybe it's not kavanah, maybe he didn't intend to fall in. But if he falls in for no apparent reason, then we say it's with kavanah. We say he fell in on purpose.
How do we know? How can we determine kavanah on an animal?
Well, we know that there's kavanah with an animal for glory.
But we can definitely see a kavanah because there is kavanah to eat if you saw the vegetation. Then we can say
but then the kavanah is to eat, not necessarily to kill the person.
And it just so happens that.
But if you don't have that possibility,
but if you knew, I guess there's a connection between seeing it enough times. Don't you realize you're going to fall in?
That's what I'm saying.
But you wouldn't see that by falling in directly.
Why not? So the witness sees that he fell in, and then another witness sees he fell in the 2nd time.
Okay.
And then we say by the time it's 3 times, it's got to be it's too much of a coincidence. No?
I'm just trying to get to why the last word said is lake a kofa. The last line of Rashi says lake a kofa.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get.
And the other case said there is kofa. The whole point before said there is kofa. The line says lake a kofa, and it says why lake a kofa? Because there wasn't a testimony on the seed. I'm going to see tomorrow.
Have a great
day.
Amen.
to me.
All right, Rabbi,
You
I've given you enough time. Tell us the answer.
I don't know the answer. I'm still working on it too. This Rashi is a
You
doozy.
stalled long enough.
This Rashi is a doozy.
It is. It's very, very doozy. Very big doozy.
See, Rashi's mentioned over here, according to Rav, he's explaining this according to Rav, because Rav was the one over here who said, when the Gemora asked, why is there a payment of kofar over here? Because he's a tam. Rav's answer is, no, he's not a tam, he's a muad. He's muad lipol al bnei adam v'goros askina, which is not what Shmuel is going to say in a minute. Shmuel says that he's a tam, and the Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Yossi Aglili, who says that a tam pays chatzi kofar. So this that it says in the Mishnah that he pays kofar, it doesn't mean kofar shalom. It means chatzi kofar. So this is why Rashi is concerned with Rav, and he's bringing what Rav said in the few pages back.
Right.
He's explaining Rav according to what Rav said over there, Patra Mizeh Mizeh, because Rav holds not like Shmuel. Shmuel held there could be a division in the din. The animal could be chayiv, not chayiv skila, and nevertheless he could pay kofar. And Rav, from what we saw, says no. If there's no chayiv skila, there can't be a chayiv kofar.
Right.
So now we got a problem over here. How is Rashi going to explain this? That the animal, is this animal chayiv skila?
No.
He was not chayiv skila. So if he's not chayiv skila, according to Rav, how is he going to be chayiv kofar? And Rav L'chora is saying over here that he's going to pay kofar, and not only chatzi kofar, but he's going to pay kofar shalom of a muad. So we got a lot of Rashi's got a lot of explaining to do. This answer that the Gemora is, in other words, this answer that Rav Yosef is saying, the Chazi Yeroka b'Nofal, is coming to explain what Rav said in the previous statement. At the end, we're talking here about an animal as a muad, and he's going to be paying kofar shalom. And the Gemara said, oh, well, he's a bar katala. So then we said, no, Chazi Yeroka b'Nofal.
It's not a bar katala
So you have to-
because the first 3 times we can't say it's Kamma.
Yeah, but now we have a problem. So even if we get around the fact that the first 3 times he wasn't the bar katala, and nevertheless he could be a muad, but we know, but there's another problem. Rav holds that there's no din kofar if there's no din skila.
Right.
So how could it be that there's no din skila on the 4th time over here, and yet according to Rav there'll be a din of kofar? So Rashi has to explain. So long,
See you,
Roy.
Roy.
Good to see you.
See you tonight in Mitzvah Hashem.
All the best.
So can we say that maybe there is skila for the 4th time?
So
What's
it
his
doesn't
number?
see it doesn't. I don't know where Rashi is going over here with this. There's 2 possibilities that I have. One possibility is that Rashi is going to say that, oh, this that Rav said that was over there. He said that in a certain type of case over there where he's muad l'nigichos and and on the 4th nigicha, so that's when we say that if there's no din skila, there's no din kofar. But here we're talking about a different case, and even though he's not chayiv skila, there could be a din kofar. Maybe that's what he's saying. Or he's saying, yeah, no, Rav holds that across the board in all the cases, and this case is also like that. If so, then we've got to say that Enochanami, this 4th time, for some reason, he will be chayiv skila, even though he did it shalom b'kavanah, and therefore he's going to be chayiv kofar, according to the klal of Rav, that you can't be chayiv kofar unless there's a chayiv skila. I don't know which one of those two things Rashi said over here? It could be, if we read it over again, we'd see very clearly that it's this way or that way. It needs reading again. A Rashi like this needs more than one reading.
Right. So the key phrase would be V'hashor b'skila lo mitzinon de legabe kavana tamhu. Right, that's the key phrase, you think?
Yeah, certainly one of them. L'ukmei lohak nefila akrona b'miskaven v'hashor b'skila lo mitzina. And to say, to establish this fourth nefila over here, the nefila akrona, that the animal did it b'kavanah, and therefore he's b'skila, and therefore we'd be able to explain according to Rav why there'd be a payment of kofar. Lo mitzina, but we can't do that, says Rashi. That not going to work. Why not? The legabe kavanah tamu, like a kofar.
Intention is a tam.
And in regard to,
Because he didn't have kavana. As long as we have the shame, we have
he is
no
a
kavana.
tam. That's a very strange statement. I mean, what does kavanah have to do with tam? A tam could do something b'kavanah. He could do something. Shalom. I don't know.
You can't be a tam and be a muad at the same time.
Right.
We're saying because he did it 3 times, even without kavana, he's a muad.
Tamu.
So why is he saying tam?
I think it means to say as follows. In regard to doing the act b'kavanah, he hasn't done that 3 times.
Right.
So in regard to doing something b'kavanah to do damage, he's like a tam, and according to that, if he's a tam, listen, there won't be any din kofir. The Kamma the lo chazi yeroka oyayit.
What does that mean? In every case?
The kol Kamma, as long as he doesn't jump into the bore just because he saw vegetation over there. Lo yayit. This lo yayit is also not.
Could it mean we don't have a case where he jumped into the bore when there wasn't vegetation?
Could be.
So I thought we were saying that since he did it 3 times, even though it seems to be below kavana, but since it happened 3 times, we're going to change our opinion and say it must be with kavana. It's too much of a coincidence to say he did 3 times. He tried to eat some vegetation on the mouth of the pit.
Yeah.
He fell and he killed somebody.
Yeah.
At this point, we say it has to be that he had kavana.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that I can support my position from the Rashi.
Yeah. This Rashi requires you have to hold cup. You have to keep the cheshbon that Rashi's going step by step. I don't have it. I don't have the cheshbon that Rashi.
I would learn that in my chalus in America. I would write this whole Rashi out.
Yeah.
I would write everywhere.
Oh, there's
That's
no
what I
getting
used to
published
do.
a minute.
And then I diagram it.
You know, it's cold in here. I wonder
Now I
why.
understand. Well, I put in a nickel.
That's what you have to do.
And that lasts a long
That's
time.
what
A
you have
nickel
to
a
do.
pickle.
Yeah.
Take a piece of paper, Rashi, Dibra
That's what's
Maspil,
enough
the Chazi Yeroka, and then write 1. Step 1. What does Rashi say? Step 1. Rashi says, step 1. He says whatever he says. Okay, that's what he said. That was his first thing that he said. Then 2. What's his next thing? He said after that.
Right.
And keep going and try to follow the train of thought of Rashi.
Right.